Hello everybody, welcome to New Normal Education. Welcome to Electronics Product Assembly and Servicing. Today, we will tackle our module number 1 called Basic Hand Tools and Their Uses. This module was designed to help you to master the electronics products assembly and servicing. The scope of this module permits it to be used in many different learning situations. The language used recognizes the diverse vocabulary level of students. The lessons are arranged to follow the standard sequence of the course. The modules are divided into 2 lessons. Number 1, use of electronic servicing hand tools and classifications of hand tools. So after you going through this module, you are expected to 1. Identify the different hand tools used in electronic products assembly and servicing. Number 2, discuss the proper operation and safety of hand tools. Number 3, classify the tools according to its use. And last is apply the appropriate hand tools for the given task. Safety is very important for every employee in the industry because all the workers desire to work in a safe and protected atmosphere. And knowing the proper hand tools to be used will reduce the risk of possible accidents in the workplace. In these lessons, it introduces the different hand tools to be used in electronics products assembly and servicing. It is here to help you to understand and choose the appropriate hand tools to be used in a specific job. The basic hand tools. A hand tool is any tool that is powered by hand rather than a motor. Categories of hand tools includes wrenches, pliers, cutters, files, striking tools, struck or hammered tools, screwdrivers, vices, clamps, snips, saw, drills, and knives. In electronics sector, there are hand tools which is specialized to perform the discrete functions that it might not be possible to use in another workforce. And it is categorized according to their use. Hand tools in electronics industry are classified according to its functions and their uses. The first classifications of hand tools according to its function and uses is called the driving tools. An example of driving tools is screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are hand tools specifically designed to insert and tighten or to loosen and remove screws. A screwdriver comprises a head or tip, which engages with the screw. A mechanism to apply force is by rotating the tip, and some way to position and support the screwdriver. The tip of which is shaped it into fit a particular type of screw. There are 3 kinds of screwdriver. Number 1 is called the slatted screwdriver. This screwdriver is used to drive or fasten the negative slatted screw. Number 2, Phillips screwdriver. It is also used to drive or fasten the positive screw. Number 3, it is called the jeweler's screwdrivers. Jeweler's screwdriver set is a set of small screwdriver composed of slatted and Phillips screwdrivers. The second classification of hand tools is called soldering tools. An example of soldering tools, number one, is called the soldering iron. Soldering iron is device for applying heat to melt solder in attaching two metal parts. A soldering iron is composed of a heated metal tip and an insulated handle. For electrical works, wires are usually soldered to printed circuit boards, other wires, or small terminals. A low-power iron, 20 to 30 watts, is suitable for this work. Number 2, it is called soldering tool stand. Soldering tool stand is a place where the soldering iron is placed during usage. This will keep the soldering iron away from flammable materials. The stand often comes with a sponge used in cleaning the tip of the soldering iron. Number 3, it is called the soldering tool. This tool is used in removing soldered wires and components on printed circuit boards for troubleshooting and repair purposes. The third classification of hand tools according to its function and their uses is called splicing tools. An example of splicing tools are, number 1, long nose. Long nose is used for holding, bending, and stretching the lead of electronics components or connecting wires. Number 2 example, it is called side cutter. Side cutter is a wire cutting pliers, though they are not used to grab or turn anything, but are used to cut wires. Number 3 is called wire stripper. Wire stripper is a pair of opposing blades, much like scissors or wire cutters. The addition of a center notch makes it easier to cut the insulation without cutting the wire. 12 volts mini drill. It is used to bore or drill holes in the printed circuit board or PCB with sizes from 1 and 32 inch to 1 and 16 inch. Next example of boring tools is called portable electric drill. This hand tools is used for boring holes in plastic or metal chassis with the use of drill bits having sizes from 1/6 inch to approximately 1/4 inch. The next classification of hand tools according to its function and uses is called cutting tools. An example of cutting tools is called utility knife. It's a common tools used in cutting various trades and crafts for variety of purposes. Next example is called the hacksaw. A hacksaw is used for cutting metals. Some have pistol grips that keeps the hacksaw firm and easy to grip. The small handheld hacksaws consist of a metal arc with a handle that fits around a narrow, rigid blade. The next example of classification of hand tools according to its function and uses is called auxiliary tools. An example of auxiliary tools are, number 1, magnifying glass. Magnifying glass is a convex lens that is used to produce a magnified image of an object. The lens is usually mounted on a frame with a handle. The next example of auxiliary tools is called paintbrush. paintbrush is made of bristles set in the handle, used for cleaning dirty parts of a circuit or an object. Next is an electronics equipment. Under of electronics equipment, we have measuring tools. An example of measuring tools in electronics and also in electricity is called BOM. BOM stands for volt, ohm, millimeter. BOM is used for measuring resistance, voltage, and small amount of current. Electricity tester for testing whether there is a passage of electric current in a circuit. Example is for testing fuse. Number 3, oscilloscope is a piece of electronic test equipment that allows signal voltage to be viewed, usually as a two-dimensional graph of one or more electrical potential differences, the vertical axis, plotted as a function of time or some other voltage horizontal axis. Next, signal generator is a device that produces simple waveforms. Such devices contain an electronics oscillator, a circuit that is capable of creating a repetitive waveform. These are typically used in simple electronics repair and designs where they are used to simulate a circuit under test. The DC voltmeter is a device which measures the DC voltage applied to it by moving the pointer against a perfectly calibrated scale. Micrometer caliper. It is used for measuring the diameter of wires.